Hello guys, how you doing? This is another Beatles fan and this is another video where I'm going to show you guys my vinyl haul in New York City. I went to New York City and I bought some records. I gotta be honest, I should have bought more, but you know how it is, right? We don't have, we only have so much money, right? And we want to get a lot of stuff from the trip. Um, so I didn't manage to grab everything I wanted, maybe because I decided to buy something else with that money, maybe because there wasn't enough luggage space. That was another problem, and also because I didn't find some of the records I wanted to buy, to be honest. Anyway, let's get into it. But before that though, I just gotta show you guys this acrylic turntable slip mat that I got. It's an upgrade, a small upgrade to my turntable here, because I live in Brazil and in here we keep the windows open all the time. My window's open right now. I don't know how it is for you guys if you're watching me from the States or Canada, but a lot of dust comes in my room and my record player is right beneath my window, which means that, yeah, I have a hard time really trying to keep my records clean. And this here supposedly prevents static. Of course, my last vinyl mat was like a velvet, like kind of a carpet deal. I don't know how it's called exactly, that one, and that attracted a ton of dust, so that's why I changed it. People say that it's got sonic differences. Maybe it boosts up the low end. I'm not sure about that. I'm on vacation now, kind of, so now I'll have more time to check it out and maybe I'll do a video about it. So I wanted to ask you guys, what's your slip mat? You know, what materials it made of? Is it a rubber one, an acrylic one? I'm just putting it back on my turntable. And I was also wondering if, you know, what do you guys think? Does it make a difference? Please let me know down here. Anyway, let's go to the record, shall we? First one, actually, I am cheating a bit here because this one wasn't a New York record. This was a record I received here right after I came back from my trip. This is Chet Baker, My Funny Valentine. This is a compilation of Chet Baker's music. It's got My Funny Valentine, I Fall in Love Too Easily, Time After Time, There Will Never Be Another You. There's a song called The Thrill Is Gone, and I gotta be honest, I haven't listened to the entire record yet, but I bought this in Amazon. It was really cheap for a new record here in Brazil. I always wanted a Chet Baker compilation. I got a real close friend who told me that she loves Chet Baker, and she told me that these songs are like the essential Chet Baker songs. And I've probably heard all of them because I do listen to Chet Baker all the time. But you know, I don't know them by name. I believe this is a French pressing, and I've seen some people online saying that it's got a ton of surface noise and the pressing quality is bad. I gotta tell you, man, mine is in pristine condition. I think maybe this is the slipcase. I think maybe I was a bit lucky on that front. This is the label. So the record is, of course, it's new, but it looks really good. It's got a bit of dust here, which I'm not sure if it's from my record player. As I mentioned, I got a ton of dust coming in, or maybe, you know, some records come dusty, so I'm not sure about this one. Anyway, have you listened to Chet Baker? If you like him, I love him. I love his voice. I think his voice is super unique and jazzy, and I think it's one of the coolest artists of all time. He really was super cool, in my opinion. So that's Chet. Now let's really dive into what I got in the USA. First one, of course, Paul McCartney one hand clapping in, and I'm super happy about this one. It's even got the hype sticker because I need to buy more plastic covers for my records, and while I don't do that, this will stay inside this plastic here just for protection's sake. Of course, the hype sticker here, this, if you guys don't know, it was released this year. It's a Wings album that wasn't available in its entirety. This, so made in Germany, this is the set list. This doesn't include the EP. I didn't find that version, unfortunately, but I do really like the package because it's a 72 or 74 project that came out in 2024, so 50 years later. So it's got this kind of retro and antique aesthetic to it. Like if you kept this in your drawer for 50 years, it'll come out like this, right? And here's a record. It's a double album. I'm just gonna show you guys the one. This is side A and side B, and it's got this really cool drawing here, this cool pattern. It's on a paper bag, which I don't like, but I gotta be honest, it's better than most Paul McCartney records because they come in those plastic bags, and it's terrible. So here's the record. I gave it a spin yesterday on sides 1 and 2, and today I finished it off with sides 3 and 4, and it sounds lovely, sounds great. A really simple label, right? But I think it fits with the package. Really like the use of cream, right? This is like cream color, and this green here makes a wonderful aesthetic, I think. Look at this. It does truly fit, and it doesn't look like anything, you know, that Paul's ever came out with, you know, color-wise, I'd say. There's also a little booklet here, like forgot what it's called. So we have the one-hand clapping drawing here. Is it I forgot what it's called, this thing here. Anyway, in here we have, I believe this was supposed to be released with the album. At the time, of course, the project wasn't ever released, but we've got here a bit of an explanation about one-hand clapping. We have a quote for each member of the band, and of course this has Jeff written in it, and he's a drummer before Joe English, who was the guy who played on Venus and Mars, Wings at the Speed of Sound, and of course on the great record of Wings Over America. I just love it, and it's got the credits here too, and it's written in English, French, and German. So these 3 languages. A brochure, that's what it's called. It's a brochure. I'm sorry about that. Don't know why it took me so long to remember that name. It's not a name I say all the time. That's it. Anyway, let's keep going, shall we? This is one-hand clapping. I'm sorry, but I forgot to mention another cool thing. It's green in here. I don't think you guys can see it, but it's a green sleeve. Inside it's not, I thought it would be gatefold, but it's not. But it's green inside, the same green as the record sleeve, and it looks great. I believe I think you can see it now. The Wings Over America edition I have, which is the archive one, I believe, or maybe the 2017 reissue. Yeah, I think it's the 2017 reissue. It's like purplish pink on the inner cover, and that's so cool, I think. Next, please bear with me because I'm gonna drink some water actually. All right, next is a special one because I'd never heard of this artist before. I was at the Brooklyn Bridge. I crossed the Brooklyn Bridge from Manhattan to Brooklyn, and that's a really cool thing to do if you're in New York. I totally recommend it. It's beautiful. It was a beautiful day, and in Dumbo, which is Brooklyn's neighborhood close to the bridge, we saw a flea market. So I went there and I made friends with the guy who was selling vinyl there. And I'm sorry, man, but I forgot your name. I don't think you're watching this, but if you are, I forgot your name. And I decided to grab the record that most interested me because it was super cheap. It was a flea market after all. And so I got a single for my dad, an Elvis single, because he's a huge Elvis fan. And I got this one for me, Joe Jackson, Body and Soul. This is cool because it came in the plastic. It still has the plastic, so the guy didn't remove it, much like I did with my one-hand clapping. And it's got the hype sticker here. And I never heard of Joe Jackson before. Here's the backside. It's got a ton of info on the record, which I always love to see. And this is like a jazzy pop record. I thought it would be pure jazz just because of the cover. I did judge the book, in this case the record, by its cover, and I found out that this cover here is an homage to Sonny Rollins Volume 2 that released in 1957 on Blue Note label. So this is like, it's a straight up copy. Of course it's not a copy, again, it's a homage, but this was released in 1984. It's pop with jazz and a bit of Latin. Gotta be honest, it's not what I expected. The guy who sold it to me, my new friend, he told me he loved it, and I do like it. I gotta listen to it a couple more times. I only listened to it once today, and I liked it. Two songs that really caught my ears was the hit single, which is You Can't Get What You Want Till You Know What You Want. It's a huge title. And also Low Sida. It's the first song of the B-side. It's an instrumental, a bit more jazzy one. It's got a cool piano. So I'd recommend you guys checking it out. And the funny thing is that I didn't buy this record. My friend there, the owner of the flea market record shop, he gave this record to me just because we made friends. So thank you so much. And you know, it's those kind of records in your collection which I love, that even though I've never heard of Joe Jackson before, he's British, I've never listened to anything by him, but this, you know, it's worth having this in my collection for the story, just because of that, not only because of the music. And it plays great. The sound quality in here is really good, although this was a digital record, which meant that the vinyl, you know, having it on vinyl doesn't make much difference. You know, usually I like to collect vinyl that was recorded for vinyl playing and vinyl reproduction, because it does have a different feel to it. Of course, we've got some instances where I don't care a single bit about that. For example, Paul McCartney's Counting Creation in the Backyard is one of my favorite albums of all time. I must have it on vinyl. Anyway, I digress again. Now, of course, this is a used record. I bought it on a flea market. I bought another used record, and this is the only one I haven't listened to yet. George Harrison, Living in the Material World. I don't have much George stuff. I should have more, but this one I got at Academy Records near Nomad, close to my hotel. I'm not sure if this is a 74 pressing, American 74 pressing. Actually, I'm gonna take a look here. I'm gonna pause this for a second. but it comes with this inner sleeve. Of course, you saw the gatefold, right? It's again George on Friar Park, and the labels are Hare Krishna on one side, and on the other side, like a guy in his material world with his car. I do believe that's what George was aiming for. I'm gonna get the info on the record right now, actually. So a quick Discogs research here, and it does seem like this is the American 73 version, and I'm super excited hearing it because I don't like the mixing on Living in the Material World, at least not the album available on Spotify. And it's cool because the run out here reads on this side, you're not gonna be able to see it, but it reads Hare Rama, and on this side it reads Hare Krishna. And actually this matrix number here is a variant that isn't, the side B variant isn't properly specified on Discogs. And apparently there was a lyric sheet that unfortunately isn't included in here, so that's missing. I didn't know it contained a lyrics sheet, I gotta be honest, but it's not here, is it? Nope, it's not. Yeah, that's too bad. Anyway, it's a really cool addition. A really cool addition to my collection, and not an addiction to my collection, right? And again, I'm definitely gonna make a video on it if the pressing and the quality of the recording piques my interest, because I do think, again, from the many times I've heard Living in the Material World, I never thought that was a good sounding record, and I've never liked it that much. There is a song in here called Don't Let Me Wait Don't Let Me Wait Too Long. Yeah, that's what it's called. That one is super underrated, I'd say. Also, Be Here Now is beautiful. The Day the World Gets Round, it's also pretty incredible. The Light That Has Lighted the World, and of course Give Me Love, Give Me Peace on Earth. It's an instant classic, right, for George. Okay, last two records, bear with me here. Bob Dylan Ballad on the tracks, and of course we all know Bob Dylan. I really like this album. I believe it's an album that it's kind of becoming a classic over the time. And this was released, I believe, also in '74. Actually, George's was released in '73. One Hand Clapping was recorded in '74, and I believe Bob Dylan had just come out of a divorce, so that's the main point here. There's great songs, really like Tangled Up in Blue, Simple Twist of Fate. If You See Her, Say Hello. That's my three favorite ones. This has a different feel to the cover. It feels like a journal or a newspaper of some sorts. It's something that I've never seen before in a cover. That type of paper they use. And here is the sleeve, kind of a wine color, right? And it's a paper sleeve, kind of a plasticky one, which again, I don't like. Here's the record, a bit dusty. But actually this one, I haven't tried it out yet. So it's the George one and this one, haven't listened to it yet. What do you guys think about Blood on the Tracks? I believe this is a 2016 reissue. I bought it new. Forgot to mention that. Alright, final one here. It's gotta be probably the greatest album of all time, I'd say. Or maybe definitely one of the greatest albums of all time. I don't think there's anyone who's gonna argue against that. Of course, it's the Beatles' White Album. This is the 50th anniversary remix. I've listened to side A of it because I didn't have much time. Of course, I wanna take my time and listen to it, but the sound quality in here is insane. I don't know what you guys think about Giles Martin's remixes, but on this one, I think he delivered it vinyl wise. I don't think his streaming remixes are what he's aiming for. I believe he really aims for the vinyl, and I already have the Sgt. Pepper and the Abbey Road remixes, and both of them sound incredible to me. Of course, here we have the usual for the White Album. Sides 1 and 2. This is the poster. I'm not gonna open it up because if you're in here, you probably know everything that comes with the White Album, right? It's a bit hard to put these on. I had that problem before, so I'm not gonna do it on camera because this video is already taking so long. But we also got sides 3 and 4. And of course, my favorite part of this record, of course, besides the music, right? The huge photographs. So here's John and Ringo. Couldn't get Paul and George out. I'm sorry about that. Didn't want to get the disc out, but you know, let's do it. Again, it's a bit harder to remove this. It looks like it's not a really good fit. I don't know what's going on. Now it came out smoothly. But here is the other 2 photographs. All right. So yeah, here we have John, Paul, George, and of course Ringo. So is the White Album your favorite album? Please let me know down below. Besides that, do you like Giles Martin remixes, especially on LP? I want to know what are your take on it. So yeah, this video was way longer than I expected, so I do apologize about that, but I did want to bring the records and tell you guys the stories of how I got this, because it's important to me, and I truly wish you enjoyed it. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much. This is another Beatles fan out.